going towards the light. That's what we did last week, right? There's a whole component of tshuva that's just going towards our source in Hashem's love and Hashem's light, and that He just wants us to partake of. And when you taste it, there's no greater pleasure in the world than that type of tshuva. It's who we are meant to be in our best essence, in our best selves. So here, this perek, hey, Orot HaTshuva, it starts off with the title, Hechrechiyut Metziut HaTshuva, the necessity of the Metzias. How do you translate Metzias in this sense? The reality of, but it's like the real presence of in the world of tshuva, okay? That it's something shunimtza, it's something that's present, something that you can find, something that's there. Hechrechiyut Metziut HaTshuva ve'pu'ulata b'adam, and it's action, and it's how it acts within the person once he gets it. Once we get to that tshuva, what it's poel in us, be'olam ve'beknesset Yisrael, ba'adam, in the person, in the world, and of course in Knesset Yisrael. There's a neshama called Knesset Yisrael that we're all part of. Knesset Yisrael is made up of all of us put together. What? Togetherness, and it's another name. Another name for Knesset Yisrael is the Shekhinah Kedusha. Actually, the Shekhinah is the Knesset Yisrael. There's a lot of names for Knesset Yisrael. Today I was reading the Zohar a little bit, and there's another name for the Shekhinah, which I'm just going to throw it out at you because I found it so amazing. But I have to do more research into it to say what is this? Kir, a wall. Kir is also another description of the tshuva, and it brings the whole thing from Chizkiyahu, that why it's recommended to daven facing a wall. There should not be a chatzitza between you and the wall. That's the recommendation. That's what. And Chizkiyahu HaMelech looked turned towards the kir when Yeshiva came to tell him he's sick. He was to put his house in order, and he realized I have to do tshuva. He didn't get married. He didn't bring kids. I said, okay, I'm going to. Before I daven, before I accept the tshuva, I have to go towards the Shekhinah, and that's the kir that the psukim speak about when Chizkiyahu born. But again, like the Kotel Maravi, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of kir is lashon yakar. Also, rearrange the letters, you get precious, dear. So maybe one day I'll delve into it more, this whole wall business, this whole kir, and I'll give it over. Okay, so now HaTshuva. I think I need my glasses. Let's see, do I have my glasses? Yes. HaTshuva, Rav Kook says, Hi hargasha hayoter bria shel hanefesh. Tshuva is the most healthiest feeling the person can feel in their nefesh, in their soul, in their insides, in their inner being. Neshama bria beguf bari. A healthy soul and a healthy body. Muchrachat hi lavo lidei ha'osher hagadol shel haTshuva. For that to happen, neshama bria beguf bari, muchrachat hi has to come to its joy, its happiness, its osher hagadol, the biggest joy that it can feel of tshuva. Hold on, I cut up the sentence too much. Neshama bria beguf bari muchrachat hi lavo lidei ha'osher hagadol shel tshuva. It's through tshuva that we get to this feeling of nefesh, neshama bria beguf bari. Vehi murgeshet, merageshet umurgeshet. Merageshet ba et ha'oneg. Merageshet. No, it's like merageshet. Vehi merageshet ba. It gives over the feeling. Merageshet ba. It gives over the regesh. Et ha'oneg hativi. The natural pleasantness, the natural delight. The natural delight, hayoter gadol, the most natural delight that a person can feel. That's through tshuva. What's tshuva? It's a little bit what you felt hearing this song. It's like my soul is opening up, and I give everything to Hashem, and I know that there's love in the world, and there's Hashem's, and to bask in that love, that there's that He hears us, that we can plug into this call, and in that place, you're not alone. There's no loneliness. There's no aloneness. There's yitzivut. There's stability. there's just oshel v'simcha v'tov lev. There's no room for anything else once you get that light of tshuva. פליטת החומרים המזיקים פועלת פעולתה הטובה והמבריאה בגווייה כשהיא שלמה בתוכנתה. פליטת החומרים המזיקים, the expelling of toxic substances, all the sadness that we carry, all the pain that whether we're disappointed in ourselves by things that we have to do tshuva for, like those oops moments of us, like we don't, all of those things, whatever we carry, we have to expel them from us. The expelling of those toxic substances, po'elet pulata, has its effect, has its good effect, and heals, brings healing with it. Big vayeha, within herself, with all its different shades and colors. When this expelling of the toxins becomes complete. When this tshuva has an effect of, I've expelled anything ra from within me. V'haraka ruchanit, okay, I'll read more. V'haraka ruchanit shel kol ma'aseh ra v'chol rishumim ra'im u'mekulkalim haba'im mimenu. Haraka ruchanit, that means leharik, to emptying out, spiritual emptying of any bad action, bad thing, and all of its rishumim, all of its rishumim, roshem that it feels, and all of its imprints, haraim, the bad imprints, mukulkalim, spoiled, habaim menu, that come from those toxic substances, which we call ra, which are the averot that we carry, or the lack of forgiveness that we allow ourselves to get into, to move on from. We get stuck in a place of ra, and to get to this type of tshuva, this elevated tshuva, there can't be any vestige of that ra. That's how complete the tshuva has to be. There can't be any percentage of ra within me, because any percentage of ra is that percentage of ra that I'm separated from Hashem. So we can't go halfway with it. We have to really take it seriously and do a whole real serious detox. Shel kol machshava ra'ah, of any bad thought, and bad thought of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, I'll whatever, all of those diminishing voices in our head. Shel kol machshava ra'ah v'shel kol richuk me'atochen ha'atzili ha'eloki bichlal. We have to divest ourselves, meroken ourselves. We have to empty ourselves out of those negative spiritual forces, of anything that distances us from the noble content of godliness. This is these machshavot ra'ot is the yesod l'chol ra, is the foundation of anything bad that we feel, that grips us, that doesn't let us be free from it. L'chol gasut v'chiyur, it's the antidote for all. Gasut is vulgarity. Thank you so much. Vulgarity and ugliness. Gasut v'chiyur, muchrechet hilavo, has to come about ksheha organ, haguf hachai, the body, the physical body that's living, bari mitzido haruchani, comes to its health from its spiritual side and its physical side working together. We can't be what Rav Kook is here saying. We can't be healthy in our thoughts if the memo doesn't reach every cell of our body. A lot of us know what we need to do. We know lofty things. We're full of amazing ideas, but it doesn't get to our feet, right? As Rav Shlomo used to say, Rav Shalom, it has to get to the feet. As long as the body is holding on to tension, to any form of ill feeling, it's a sign of a nefesh lo bria, that the soul on some level is holding something toxic within it, and it's not. It's not healthy. The health of the neshama has to be translated as the health of the body. Now, health of the body, we can talk about that. Like, does it mean, therefore, like,
You don't have high blood pressure.
yeah, you don't have there's some physical things that that a person has to take care of. By the way, let's dedicate this shir to Chaim Menachem ben Leah, Sheyeh Bari, Rabbi Chaim Kramer, who had a heart attack on Friday. I got the memo. Hashem yishlach lo refuah shlema. And once I'm on that, I forgot to start the shir with the tefillah that I said I was going to start every shir from now on until all the hostages come home. So here it is. Here it is. יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, שתחזק ותשמור ותנצור את אחינו בית ישראל, השבויים והשבויות, בעבור שאנו מתפללים בעבורם. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, ישמרם מכל צרה וצוקה, ומכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם, יוציאם מחושך וצל מוות, ויושיבם מהרה לחיק משפחותיהם, ונאמר אמן. אחינו כל בית ישראל הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה, המקום ירחם עליהם, ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, מאפלה לאורה, משעבוד לגאולה, השתה בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. Okay, so
I was just going to say that our end of the deal is mamish to live these Torahs that we're learning.
100%.
And
That's why we're learning them. We
Yeah.
have to live them.
right.
We have to. You want to say something more?
No, I just want to say that I think that together we'll the more people who are learning this Torah
Yeah.
and are living it, the faster we're going to get to the level Hashem wants us
To
to
the
be.
health that Hashem wants to get us to.
Yes.
To the simcha, to the absolute spiritual and physical health that He wants to bless us with, because that's where the bracha is. That's where fruitfulness is. That's where creativity is. Yeah. So a person can also, let's say, this is just me talking, take it with a grain of salt. I'm inviting you to pipe in also. But in terms of people who are walking around with real like medical issues, it's not necessarily that the medical issue is necessarily going to go away, but there's a menuchas nefesh that comes of harpaya, of a letting go of the ta'ana against the Kadosh Baruch Hu within this issue that we're carrying within us, because we're in a physical world, and the body gives itself over to corruption, and it has its effect on the aging and whatever it is that we carry from the past, that we did it to ourselves or not, doesn't matter. But it's like there's and when people get to that menuchat nefesh, like they accept. I'm not making up, that it does help with bringing on healing on whatever level that it can. But there's like there is a simcha and a shalva and a serenity that can come to a person even like that, and it's no matter what the state of the body is, but it's the body feels okay. The body feels okay with what it's going, not from a place of resignation. I resign, kachazeh, but it sucks. No, it's not that. It is what it is, and I full-heartedly accepted. But Hashem, you gave me this. I'm okay with it. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Am I getting lost here, or you know what I'm talking about?
Line between like resignation and I accept. I mean, not to be despondent and resign, but it's a fine line between.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna, for the schus of Rabbi Chaim Kramer, such a special person. I remember the first time he had a heart attack, a long time ago, and he used to come to Montreal. I used to host him a lot, and we're very close. Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
So he had his heart attack, and he's a big guy, and he liked to eat. He liked to eat a lot, and like and so after his approach to the heart attack was, okay, so I remember what he said. He was 56 years old then. I was 56, and I did whatever, I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. So what? So the doctor is telling me limit this, limit that. And if I live by this diet, this healthier diet, I'll be okay. So Baruch Hashem, like I lived that life and now I'm living this life. And he was like, you know what I'm saying? He just resigned to the added limitation to his life that he can't have all of the donuts that he wants whenever he wants them, for instance. That he didn't say that, but I'm just, because we're in Kislev and there's a lot of donuts flying around. Okay. So he should be well. So that's the thing. It's like it's working within. We have limitations on the goof level, but we can also live very beautiful, tshuvadik, happy lives even within that misgeret. It's possible. Okay, and it's a measure of tshuva to do that.
I'll say something about donuts.
Go ahead.
I mean, I found in my own life that one of the sources of unhealth is it's on the Indian of dveikut, what we cling to in life. That sometimes the most tenacious things to heal from are when you get like very emotionally attached or invested. You cling to like, you know, certain visions, certain outcomes, certain things that you desire. Your dveikut is not really with Hashem. Your dveikut is to the things that you want, to the outcomes you want, to the ways you see your life going. That's your dveikut. So it's interesting that Hanukkah, like it's all about sufganiyot. Why is everything about oil? Oil does not permit for dveikut. Oil is just about like there's no friction. Everything is just like flow. You know? So oil is.
What do we do with all that flour mixed in
Actually,
with the oil though? That's
dvash, which is like does create dveikut, right?
It binds.
Yeah, it's not permitted on the altar. I don't think.
That's
it's
right.
interesting.
Interesting,
right?
yeah.
But oil is, I think.
Yeah.
Oil is part of the mixture
Yeah,
of the cake, so it's interesting. Just realizing that like donuts and the whole Indian of oil, it's like it's to that our dveikut in life should only be cleaving to Hashem and what the highest value and the highest virtue He wants for us, which will manifest in a greater state of health and ease and calmness with life and that
and of course Shemen is otiot neshama.
Yeah,
What?
so
Neshama.
so you see, even in donuts and the Indian of oil, there's the idea of letting life flow and not clinging to it, even not clinging to the sweetness, but reserving the dveikut only for Hashem and His Ratzon.
Right, exactly.
Everything else you just gotta,
exactly. If it doesn't serve,
let it slide.
if it doesn't serve the higher purpose of bringing me closer to Hashem, it's motorot. It's extraneous stuff. So it's just so. Thank you for that. Okay, now continuing with Rav Kook. נגד כל חלק של כיעור שמסתלק מנשמת האדם על ידי הסכמתו הפנימית של אור התשובה מתגלים עולמות מלאים בבהירותם העליונה בקרב נשמתו. נגד, against every ugly part that we manage to get rid of from the neshama through a pnimi agreement. We have to be completely, it's not halfway measure. It's like I'm really maskim to finally let go of this dveikut to anything that's extraneous, that doesn't bring me too close to Hashem. I'm getting rid of the toxins, right? This bad relationship or whatever it is, bad thoughts about myself, self-limiting thoughts, any form of ugliness that I make peace with, that I'm agreeing now to really, from the pneumius of myself, to let go of it. נגד כל חלק של כיעור שמסתלק מנשמת האדם על ידי הסכמתו הפנימית, של אור התשובה. Through the הסכמה פנימית, how do you translate that? הסכמה פנימית?
Internal agreement.
Internal agreement of the light of tshuva that's within every one of us. How do we know that everyone has within themselves an Orot tshuva, a drive for tshuva? Because our neshama comes from that place. It's the stuff of tshuva, l'shuva Hashem, to return to Hashem. And so, okay, let me continue. Mitgalim olamot, and from that haskama pnimit, internal agreement, shel Orot tshuva, of the light of tshuva within us, mitgalim olamot, worlds get revealed, mleim bebiurutam, full with their clarity, ha'elyuna, elevated supernal clarity, bekerev nishmato, that resides within the neshama itself. So if you think, what's the source of dissatisfaction? There's an neshama that's dissatisfied there. And we say, okay, I want to eat all the donuts in the world. Well, you cleaned up the act of donuts now, so I have to use another mashal like schnitzels, okay? Another something that's fried, but okay, whatever. No, but latkes are, we're not going to bash donuts or latkes on Kislev, okay?
Okay.
We're going to go for schnitzels and cream cakes. How about that? Cream puff cakes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So, like, and we wonder why I'm not happy. It makes me happy. Why am I not happy? Because there's a neshama there that wants so much more for you. You think that your simcha is going to be from going to a 5-star restaurant and eating the best, I don't know what, whatever. What is that compared to the reward, to the basking in the oneg of being close, being bedvekus with the Kadosh Baruch Hu? When you have that in your mind of spiritual pleasures, as opposed to any physical pleasure that's here, that's not serving the spiritual pleasure, there's no contest. But I'm going to come up with this word again that I've been using a lot these days. The world keeps gaslighting us to believe that the pleasures of this world, even dissociated from a Kadosh Baruch Hu, there's absolute pleasure to be had in them. And it's very metatea. It makes us err. It's gaslighting us, because the satisfaction, the oneg, the pleasure, the momentary pleasure we feel from this world pleasures is immediate. I put a piece of chocolate in my mouth, it melts. It's like I don't have to wait for the gratification of what that experience is. Whereas spiritual work, spiritual reward, it takes cultivating. It's not as immediate.
Spiritual reward is not immediate because we're still in Galus. When we're in Geula, you'll be able to
The Geula, this is the experience. He's talking about the spirits of Geula when it's going to be mamish there, and all of the nonsense of this world won't gaslight us anymore. We'll see the truth when it. No, it won't. We won't. It'll be immediate. But just to answer, it's a nice point that you brought. Thank you for bringing it up. We learned this in Rav Ashlag when we were doing Hakdamat Sefer Zohar from Rav Ashlag. That why is it that the Yetzer Hara can give such immediate gratification, and the Yetzer Tov and all the good, we have to wait so long, to the point that we can ask, why am I killing myself to be such a goody two shoes? What's it paying for me? I'm giving up the pleasures of this world, and I'm not really yet seeing any advancement spiritually. And he explained that if it wouldn't be that way, the spiritual pleasures are so much greater than anything physical, we will not have b'chira chofshit. To balance out the free choice of having a choice between good and bad, what brings it to a makom shaveh, to a kind of a place of tension that we can actually choose, is that the bad is immediate and the spiritual is not immediate. Because if it would be just as immediate as the bad, no choice. There's no contest here. We will always go for the light. Okay. Exactly. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing that in, because we're in the Parshas of Yaakov and Esau. Okay. Kol ha'avarat chet dome. Kol ha'avarat chet dome le'asara davar hachotzetz me'al ha'ayin haro'ah. Any removal of sin, and we're calling sin, we're using it in a very broad way. Sin is an actual sin, like Mechal Shabbos, not eating treif, speaking Lashon Hara, all of the things that the Torah calls an Avera. But we're also calling Averas any put-downs that we have within ourselves that we don't believe that we can rise to this level of greatness that Rav Kook is speaking about, okay? Any self-limiting thoughts, okay? Kol Avera Chet, any moving away from sin, Dome is likened to lehasarad davar chutzet, is like removing a mechitza, a barrier, me'al ha'ayin haro'ah, a barrier from that covers up the eye, that prevents you from seeing, like a veil in the eyes. Like I have a patch on my eye, so I can't see. Remove the patch, and you'll be able to see. So the chetaim are like the screens that block out what we need to see. So when we remove all of those limiting factors, chataim, it's like removing that thing that is chotzetz over our eyes. Ve'ofek re'iyah shalem mitgaleh. And then a full new horizon is revealed to us. Something that we weren't privileged or able to see while the patches were on the eyes. I don't know, like, can you come up with a better word for patches? Cataract. Actually, I'm at the beginning of cataract, and my eyesight improved. Apparently, in some people, it improves. Abigail Hirsch has the same thing. I had a discussion with her. She has no glasses. She's like, older than me, right? And she said, yeah, because I have cataract. It's like, okay. Then some people, because it's a correcting of the inner lens, whatever. So maybe cataract is not the best idea thing here. But cataract is like a certain film that covers up the eye. In my case, it's improving me. It improves until it gets so improved that it becomes like detracting again. And then like you have to have the operation. But okay. Now I'm at the point okay. Ve'ofek re'iyah shalem mitgalen. So a great big horizon opens up. Or merchavei shamayim ve'eretz v'chol asher bahem. Light of merchavei shamayim, the expanses of shamayim, expanses of the heavens and earth and everything that's in them. All of a sudden we can see. What can we see? We can see the good. We can see that actually we love each other, that we're all really one. We see the goodness in ourselves and we see the goodness in others. And we see the goodness of Hashem and everything that he does and brings upon us. We just are able to see and tap into all that light, because there's only light. There is light filling the whole universe. Hashem created the whole universe berachamim gdolim. So exact, so meduyak. I made a salad this Shabbos. I was at my son's house. And the variety of colors, like Ribono Shel Olam, the greens, the variety of greens, of shades of greens in the lettuce, and the red of the tomato, and the orange of the pepper that she had there for me to cut up, and the fennel, and everything else. It's just so magnificent. Yeah. And then I put some olive oil in it, and I squeeze some lemon juice, and I take some salt, and we're eating it, and everyone's complimenting me. What a good salad. I says, what are you complimenting me? It's all Hashem. What did I do? I washed it. Cut it up, put it in, and mixed. Everything is natural ingredients. And not only that, Hashem is so good. He blessed us with eyes to be able to appreciate the variety of colors, and taste buds to appreciate the different textures, and the taste buds go like having a symphony over there, like a whole dance of pleasure from all of it. And so Hashem equipped us with things that we can actually feel the oneg of the world that he created. There's a match between how we're wired with the world that he put us in. It's such a Hashem loves us so much. He wants us to feel the pleasure, right? And it's there all the time. And so you can have a person just eating salad and like being in a bad mood, and it's all lost on them. They have film on their eyes.
That's why you say the bracha all the time.
Yes, yeah, but even religious people will say the bracha. We can just mouth the bracha sometimes, they just say the bracha and they eat because it's like, well, saying the bracha is meant, Malka, really, it's meant to awaken us to the appreciation of this gift of eating that we're going to be like enjoying right now. The eyes should feast on this. I remember one time I was at a silent retreat for 5 days. It's amazing people pay to not speak, but I paid, but it was the best experience of my life. There's a lot of things, not just not speaking. There's a lot of tochen in it. But part of the experience was when you eat, you don't talk. And it's amazing how much greater appreciation I had for the crunch. You hear the crunching of the teeth, of the yumminess, even the sounds. It's a full, essential experience to eat in the most elevated, ruchnius way. And so we walk around with films on the eyes, with our grapes, with our unhappiness, with our this, that, and the other thing. And all this experience of beauty in this world is lost on us. So we have to remove that. We have to give ourselves permission to move away from that which blocks the light, from feeling the pleasure Hashem put into this world. It's like amazing, right? Ha'olam muchrachu. Okay. Ha'olam muchrachu lavo lidei tshuva shlema. The world has to, muchrach. It's like there's no other way. Ha'olam muchrach. The world has to lavo, to come to lidei tshuva shlema, to a complete and utter tshuva. There's no other way. We have to get there. Because anything else other than that is bichina sick. You're not a neshama bria beguf bari. Ein ha'olam davar omed al matzav echad. Ki im holechu v'mitpatech. The world doesn't stand on only one situation, one matzav, but it always progresses, moves forward, and develops. Va'itpatchut ha'amitit, and real development, real advancement, hashlema, מוכרחת היא להביא לו את הבריאות הגמורה. True advancement has to bring us towards absolute health. בריאות גמורה. החומרית והרוחנית. The physical בריאות and רוחני בריאות. והיא תביא את אור חיי התשובה עמה. And it will bring with it the light of the life of tshuva with it. V'hi tavi et or chayei HaTshuva, will bring the light of the life of tshuva. Tshuva has, like, what he's saying here is amazing. It's so beautiful. Chayei HaTshuva. We can maybe, like, help me out here, opening it up. Chayei HaTshuva means the life force that's within tshuva, or is it the life of tshuva? Like, it could be mitparesh to all kinds of kivunim. Chayei HaTshuva, a life that a person lives while he's within the modality of tshuva, or that tshuva in itself has a life of its own, that then when we open ourselves up to it, we partake of this life of tshuva, of constant developing, growing towards more like. It's a living organism. It's tshuva.
I think it's both, because
It's both, right?
Because one feeds the other.
One feeds the other. Yeah. It's a life force. It's a life force that's called tshuva. Tshuva, from like returning to what we're meant to be, meant to experience, meant for life to be, from the Borei Olam. Ruach HaTshuva merachef ba'olam. The spirit of tshuva merachef ba'olam. What's merachef? Floats around in the world. It's beautiful. Oh, we need an art session here to give that a picture, right? Or dance this. This would be a Ruach HaTshuva merachef ba'olam. How would you dance that? Okay. Ruach HaTshuva merachef ba'olam, the spirit of tshuva, floats around in the world, v'hu noten lo et ikar tzivyono, and gives it.
I just wanted to see where it was.
Okay, it's 61.
Yeah. Right.
Page 61. Ruach HaTshuva, I'll finish the whole sentence, I'll go back to translate. Ruach HaTshuva merachef b'chol ha'olam, v'hu noten lo, I guess it's the olam, et ikar tzivyono v'tchifat hitpatchuto. ובריח בסמיו הוא מעדן אותו ונותן לו את כל כישרון יופיו והדרו. Only Rev Kook can speak in such poetic language, this Torah that's just pure poetry, such a balm for the soul. Ruach HaTshuva, the spirit of tshuva, merachef ba'olam, floats around in the world, and it gives the world, its main colors and its push for advancement, for development, not to be static, right? And gives it also with its sense, with the besamim, with the smell of its sense, and with its sense of its smells, of its besamim, hu me'adenoto, it refines the world. V'noten lo et kol kisharon yofyo v'adoro, and gives it all its talents, its beauty, and its glory. Okay. Let's just try to say the sentence in different words, there's a spirit of tshuva that when you catch it, when you get to it, it's not the same world that you lived in before. It's the same world, they're not the same world. You're occupying the same physical space, but all of a sudden there's colors, and there's awareness and advancement and development and fruitfulness and creativity and beautiful smells that give pleasure, maden, and refines and gives its meaning of all its talents, all that there is to partake in this world, everything that can be given expression to, it can be an expression to from that place of beauty and glory. So beautiful, no?
It almost like makes sense on an intuitive level, because if it was the chait in Gan Eden of the HaTShuva that brought, let's say, brought sin and brought death into the world, then this ruach of teshuva is like this. It's the vitality. It's the inverse. It's the opposite. That the chait of the HaTShuva brought,
It took the taste away. Everything got diminished.
Death,
Everything was
death and estrangement. And now this
Yes.
ruach of teshuva of getting closer.
It's going back.
It's revivifying. It's revivifying.
Beautiful.
And
I like that word,
life seeking, life affirming.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Life seeking, life affirming. Beautiful. העקשנות לעמוד תמיד בדעה אחת ולהתמך בה בחבלי החטאת שנעשו למנהג, בין במעשים, בין בדעות, היא מחלה הבאה מתוך שיקוע מעבדות קשה. העקשנות, the stubbornness, to always stand within one idea, one hashkafa, and always to feel supported by it, בחבלי החטאת, in these ropes that tie us to the sin, that became hergel, that became habit for me. So, sometimes for some people, I know when I'm not on my game, on my high, like when I'm not in the tshuva, there's a certain comfort to just wallow in your sin, in your schnitzels, in your whatever it is that you feel like on a low level gives you comfort, but it's not really comfort, but it's comforting. So like you don't want to let it go because, it's like a toddler having a hard time giving up the pacifier. It's comforting, but hello, like, okay, you're like,
Time to grow up.
time to let it go. But there's a comfort in it. And we as adults also have those things likened to the pacifier of a kid that we hold on to. We have to understand what they are. We have to identify them. Where am I holding on to things that hold me back? And we somehow, it's like, it so became part of our way of dealing and handling ourselves that we stubbornly hold on to them. You're smiling. I love when you smile. What's going on?
Because when you started making the analogy about the pacifier,
Yeah.
So I recently quit a job that I really needed to quit a
Okay.
few months ago, and a friend of mine had really been encouraged for ages, like, please quit your job, it's making you miserable, and it was really hard for me to do that.
There you go.
And she
Good example.
and but it was funny because she was going to make a passy party for her daughter around that time, like her party, giving her passies, and she says, it's also going to be your quitting your job party. And like remembering that she said that, like, made me start.
There you go.
laughing.
Okay, I'm glad I stopped and asked about that smile, because I know every time I stop and ask about your smile, you have a good story. You did that last time to us also. It's fantastic. Okay, good. Beautiful. It's a great visual. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so this stubbornness of not letting go of these things. Okay, bein b'masim, bein b'dot, whether we're talking about masim, actions, or just patterns of thought that we're not letting go of,
Situations.
or anything like, yeah. He machala is a disease. He's saying is machala, is a machla, is a machala, it's not healthy. It's a sickness. We have to identify it as something sick. Haba mitoch shikua be'avdut kasha, that comes from being sunken into serious enslavement. It's a form of an addiction. Sheina menicha et or ha'cherut shel tshuva le'ir be'otzem chila, that does not allow the freedom, the chirut, the freedom of tshuva to be awakened in the intensity of it with its intense koach that it has. There's something depressing this light from shining through, and he's calling that a disease. Because tshuva is always aspiring to chofesh, to freedom, mekori, amiti. Maze mekori, or original, but there's a better word for it, no? Like, lechofesh mekori amiti, source, but like, yeah, chofesh mekori, like root, primordial, I like that word better. Primordial chofesh, amiti, true. Shu chofesh eloki, which is none other than chofesh eloki, godly freedom, because what limits God? Nothing. He's completely free. We're godly beings. We have a neshama. It wants that freedom. That's our legacy as being, as having neshamot, a neshama. She'ein imo shum avduta, that there's no enslavement.
No fixation.
No fixations, no enslavement, no nothing. Like that. Mibiladei machshavat HaTshuva. Without this machshavet HaTshuva, without this thought of tshuva, menuchata uvitchona, it's rest, menucha. It's like vebitchona, and it's the firmness, the trust that we have in it, that we're sure of it. Lo yuchal adam limtzo manoach. A person cannot find rest. We can only find rest in this tshuva. No other tshuva, anything else is substitute and is limited in its scope and limited in its time span. You might find temporary comfort. Before you know it, the restlessness is going to come back and the dissatisfaction is going to come back. And the life of spirituality will not be able to advance or develop in the world. That's how serious we have to take ourselves. Hachush hamusari. He's a tzaddik, your son, you know? Because he saw someone at the window, like trying to come into the house, and he went to open the door for him. You raised a good boy.
Yes, mitzvah.
All the time. Thank you for the attention. How you doing?
Are you a substitute?
Okay, she'll be here at 12:15. Go ahead, drop. Okay, good. Nice to see you. Full too. Bye. Okay, hachush hamusari tovea me'adam et hatzedek v'atov. There's a chush. There's a sense. There's an ethical sense within us. What's right and wrong. We don't have 5 senses, physical senses. We also have a sense that's like, if you allow it to develop, is sensitive to what's right and wrong.
Mitzvah versus the nevera.
Okay, yeah. החוש המוסרי תובע מאדם את הצדק. תובע. מה זה תובע? No. To make a claim. It demands of us. תובע with a tav, not a tet. תובע מאדם את הצדק והטוב. This ethical chush that we have within us demands from us to go towards the tzedek and the tov. Et hashlemut. It wants shlemut, full, the whole thing, no half measures, no percentages of. והשלמות המוסרית כמה רחוקה היא מאדם להגשימה בפועל. And this shlemut musarit, and this ethical shlemut, it is so far from a person, far, I guess, from being hard to concretize it before, to actualize it in the person's life. It's a hard thing to be that honest all the time. To have that much integrity all the time. Because sometimes we make calculations. I'm going to do this favor again. What am I going to get back from them? It's hard to say lishma with all of this stuff. It's hard. Because we feel like we're going to be compromising ourselves on some level. So we lie to ourselves and we pretend that we're okay when we're not really okay. Because if you'd really be honest, you'd be honest and not do that, okay? So it's hard. He's saying it's easier said than done. וכמה כוחו חלש לכוון מעשיו אל התואר של אידיאל הצדק הגמור. How weak its power is לכוון מעשיו, to direct the person's actions towards the purity of what it means to be idealistically but tzedek gamur, to achieve that ideal of tzedek gamur. Ve'ech yishaf el ma she'einenu bichorto klal. And how can a person aspire to something that he feels that he doesn't have the koach to go all the way with? Lazot hatshuva hi tiv'it la'adam. והיא משלימותו. For this, HaTshuva hi, the answer is, or the tshuva, HaTshuva hi tiv'it l'adam. From this place, tshuva comes to assist. So there's the chush musari, there's an ethical chip in us that just knows when we're being false, but we pretend that we're not, and we cover it up. But we know when if we're honest with ourselves, we'll know that we were like small at that extension. But he says now you have to help with that. There's tshuva. He tivit ladam, because tshuva is natural to the person, because it's part of our neshama. V'hi mashlimato, and it comes to complete the chush musari that's lacking. Those aspects of ourselves that make false claims of tzedek when really we know we're not really holding tzedek. Let me. I didn't go into any of Shlomo's things now, but maybe I'm gonna read now what Rav Shlomo, because I don't remember it. I read it this morning, but let's see how he explains it. This particular paragraph. Rav Kook omer kan mashu מאוד עמוק. He says Rav Kook says something very very deep. מה מחזיק את החולים שנמצאים בבתי רפואה? What keeps sick people in the hospitals? מה שמחזיק אותם הוא שהם אומרים לעצמם, what keeps them there is that they tell themselves, אני רוצה להיות בריא. Yes, I want to be healthy. אני לא רוצה להיות חולה. I don't want to be sick. מחזיק את החולים שנמצאים בבתי רפואה. מה שמחזיק אותם הוא שהם אומרים לעצמם, אני רוצה להיות בריא. אני לא רוצה להיות חולה. למשל, אם אדם יושב בבית רפואה ואני באה לבקרו והוא אומר לי, בבקשה אל תפריע לי. אני מרגיש כאן מצוין ונעים. טוב לי שאני חולה. Okay. It's like Rav Shlomo is saying here, it's like going to visit a sick person in the hospital. They'll say, yeah, of course I want to be sick. I want to be healthy. I want to heal. But it's good for me here. It's like they're providing me with my meals, and I have a bed, and it's like it's lame. It's like okay, like why do I have to? It's okay. I have nurses around the clock taking care of me, and
So that's secondary gain.
yeah. Who bevadai shecho, this person, Rav Shlomo says, for sure he'll remain sick. Adam normali lo רוצה להיות חולה. A normal person does not want to be sick. כך גם ברוחניות, so too it is in spiritual things. השאיפה לתשובה נותנת לנו כוח להחזיק מעמד. The she'ifa, this aspiration towards tshuva, will give us the koach to hold on the track of briut, also musari. It's a necessary ingredient to be musari, to be ethical, to live by a standard of tzedek and emet, and not to make excuses why we have to lie in this way and why we had to pocket this and do that, whatever it is, or why it was okay, this lashon hara in this situation was okay. Clearly it's not in this situation. Some situations there are, but you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and a person just, you have to be like, to be that consistent and that,
The Torah way.
the Torah way, the
Ethical.
yeah, ethical, but in a very meduyak way, to hold yourself accountable till the end, right? Of what I mean, even if it comes at the expense of something that we wanted, then now we're going to lose because we're now giving up the lie. Like two people signing up for a promotion. And you can incur favor with the person that's going to promote, but it's not ethical. It's like fair game. You can't start bribing the judges, right? And to say, even if it's going to cost me something that I want, I'll admit that I identified something that's not ethical with me, and I'm not going to go there, even if I feel a pinch in me, like I really want it, but I'm not going to go there. It's not going to go there.
I think that is kind of the fear that people confront when like they realize they can really live a life of greater honesty and integrity. It's like, well, that's going to become the standard now, and then like,
yeah,
it's like,
but at the expense of being an underdog sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm not getting the promotion.
Start being in conflict with other things you want in your
right.
life. I mean, it's like that's the fear.
That's the
fear when Adam gets called out, and after the Chet Hadas,
yeah,
and it's like, do I tell the truth? Well, if I tell the truth, then Hashem's going to get angry.
Right, exactly, exactly. Yeah, do I tell the mommy the truth that I ate the last cookie from the cookie jar when it was not for my brother? She's gonna be angry, so I'm gonna lie.
Compromise on
But-
honesty.
Exactly.
With the presumption that it'll end better somehow. But
Right.
Mm.
So that's so to help combat that, going towards the lying and the cheating, he says here you need tshuva. The tshuva comes to help strengthen the muscle of honesty. לזאת התשובה היא טבעית לאדם, והיא משלימותו. I'll read more from Rav Shlomo. כמו שלמדנו קודם, לכן התשובה איננה בגדר מותרות. Tshuva is not from the realm of excesses. כאילו אני עושה טובה למישהו, as if I'm doing a favor for somebody. God doesn't need us to do favors. He doesn't want us to do tshuva as a favor for him. That I'm a Baal tshuva. Now Hashem, you owe me. Tshuva היא טבעית, but rather tshuva is something natural. כלומר, אני לא צריך שום דבר, it's not something from outside of myself, it's something פנימי to myself. I'm doing myself a favor. אני לא צריך שום דבר חיצוני כדי לעשות תשובה. I don't need anything, any outside anything to help me do תשובה. למשל, בשבוע שעבר החלטתי שכדאי לנוח מפעולת אנשים. It's like, he's liking it like this. Like somebody says, last week I decided enough with breathing. I don't need to breathe. And he goes a few days without breathing until a friend calls and says, you really need to breathe. He says, oh, thank you for telling me that I need to breathe. Because now I'm going to start breathing again because he came and told me. Tshuva is natural to a person as breathing is to a person. Nobody has to tell you to breathe. Nobody has to tell to do tshuva because it's the stuff of the neshama, and there's always something knocking on you. There's always something called the defect from within me. We learned this with Rav Ashlag. How did he say it? How did he say it like that? Not Rav Ashlag. Hold on. What did I say? Now it got knocked out of my head. Hold on. It was a good point. It was a good point. I forgot. It was a good point. Okay. וכאן הרב קוק מוסיף, and here Rav Kook adds, שלא רק טבעי שאני רוצה לעשות תשובה, it's not only natural for a person to want to do tshuva.
Automatic.
No, but we see people failing at it, but it should be automatic. Until we make it automatic, it's not automatic because we have this world gaslighting us and telling us other ways of advancing ourselves. But really, when you strip away those films, those scenarios, when we move away from the gashmias of the extraneous of this world that covers up the ruchnias, when we move away from that, it should be automatic and natural because that's the stuff of our neshama. שלא רק טבעי, it's not only natural for us to do tshuva, אלא טבעי שהנשמה שלי לא רגועה עד שעשה תשובה. But it's natural that my neshama won't be calm. It won't be רגועה, won't be ברוגע until I do tshuva. עד שאגיע לדרגה שאני מסוגל להגיע אליה בעבודת השם יתברך. Until I get to a degree, a level that I'm able to get to in avodas Hashem that it is natural and automatic. Until then, I have to work towards it. But it's really the natural state. Some people too often they identify with their weak points. Like what do you want? Like that's me. That's me. No, it's not you. The real you is your neshama that doesn't want to do that. Oh, now I remember what I wanted to say. Rav Ashlag said there's two ways of doing tshuva. We're all going to get to do tshuva. Gemara Tikkun, like Mashiach is coming and it's a done deal. The Geula, as far as Hashem is concerned, is already there because Hashem Hovevi, yeah, we're already there. We're already our best selves. We're already living this type of thing. We're that type of person. But we're living a 6,000 year experience until we get to what was originally in Gan Eden, to what's going to happen after the 6,000 years going into the Shabbos of the world, which is Mashiach, right? And in this 6,000 years, we're in practice of regaining that which we had, that which we will be. It's two ways of getting to it. Rav Ashlag says, do you remember? O be'isurim, o be'torah mitzvot. Either you're going to live a life of Torah with itbonenut and introspection. Torah is also not just the mitzvot, it's not the Shulchan Aruch, but it's also all the introspective works of cleaning ourselves out, inside and out, following the directives of Chazal, of,
Being honest.
being honest, and the midot tovot and all of that. you either do that, or if you're not going to follow that, if it's not part of your thing that you're going towards right now, you're still sinking into the enslavements, then life has a way through its suffering that you're going to suffer that's going to bring you back on track. There's certain inspiration or desperation. What a succinct way of saying it. And the suffering can come across like, okay, a person like Chaim Kramer, like, you know, a person like eats as much as he wants, but then he's like, I can't eat whatever I want. I just can't. Maybe I shouldn't have said that about him now, because he did, you know, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's like the suffering that we suffer from living bad lifestyles comes to alert us. You have to change your lifestyle. So that too is on the ruchnis level, on the level of midot. We go constantly for bad relationships, and we keep hurting ourselves. We move to the next person. It's just a different person, but it's the same old, same old. You're attracted to the same dynamic until you realize that I have to look for a different type of a person. See, and it's and so the suffering of the disappointment will lead you to make a reevaluation.
Which is what Rav Ashland said. You could also see it as a dynamic of inner work, outer work, or inner world, outer world. That if you do the inner work, then that's the process of Torah. That insight,
He's going into
the removal of the obstructions of seeing the true vantage point of life, and then but the suffering is like the outer world forcing it upon you.
Exactly.
It's the outer work and the outer world, which is the tsar and the befarach, you know, it's the hard labor of the external suffering that's being imposed to change, as opposed to the inner world.
I have a really bad example of that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like people who are lactose intolerant, before they realize they're lactose intolerant, they suffer and they'll realize what's going on here, because it's their body is suffering and it's leading them to check in with themselves medically, like, so it's the lactose, but it's that type of thing on a weekly. Not a strong enough example, but it came to my head.
No, I mean it is in the sense that it's
things.
What do you want to be your teacher? Do you want the inner cues that you're getting from your own experiences and intuitions to teach you how to live, or do you want the external stimuli, the external cues of what the world is teaching you, but those are going to come with suffering usually. Right. That's just how it works.
Exactly. It should be enough that it says midvar shekel tirchak. It should be enough that the Torah tells us we have to stay away from falsehood. But until
which is you also do the work
to exactly
eradicate the ills from within.
From within, exactly. Beautiful. So you have a person that takes Chazal seriously and is saying, okay, from now on, so Chazal say it, it's Torah, I'm never going to speak falsehood, and I'm going to eradicate the bad from within me. Or some people just like they read it, but they don't integrate it, and then it's the experience of the feedback of the world that's going to lead them to the same conclusion that they could have done through introspection. Okay, I think we'll be left. Well, there's a few more items here, but I think. Thank you so much.
Come back for more the next time.
It's almost like we have to be in Shuva all the time as opposed to do